welcome to Mackey Arena for what is the final regular season home game of the year. Our Big Ten champion, Purdue Boilermakers, who have already secured the #1 seed for the upcoming Big Ten tournament, will try to finish off the home schedule in style against the Illinois Fighting Illini, who, because of their 11-8 record in the Big Ten, come into this one knowing they still have a chance at a second-place finish in the Big Ten. They also have a chance at a 9th-place finish in the Big Ten. We'll talk about all that in just a second. I'm Rob Blackman. To my right, the former Boilermaker Bobby Riddell, and to my left, our sports information director for men's basketball, Chris Forman. Chris, let's start with what I was just talking about. The different scenarios, and we don't have time to go over all of them, in the Big Ten standings. With this being the final day of Big Ten regular season play, Illinois, along with 5 others in the Big Ten, go into today knowing they might finish second, they might finish 9th, they might finish somewhere in between.
It's an unbelievable day setting up here in the Big Ten. Entering yesterday's game, Ohio State, Michigan State, there were 128 possible scenarios of finishes with 1 game left in the league, which is, absolutely insane. I think when the Big Ten set it up, obviously they want the best teams to play at the end of the year, conference championships on the line. I don't know if they pictured this kind of setting where you have 8 teams that can finish anywhere from second to 9th. So Big Ten basketball on all day today, starting at noon, ending at about 9:30 tonight. So just get on your couch if you're not coming today and just watch Big Ten basketball all day to see how it all plays out.
The beauty, Bobby Riddell, of being a Purdue fan is we can just sit back and watch all the carnage. Purdue already guaranteed a Big Ten championship because Purdue is 14-5. Even if Purdue lost today, they're still the Big Ten champions. The beauty of doing your work early, winning those December games, winning those January games.
Oh, for sure. Purdue just did such an amazing job starting off the Big Ten schedule, the way you want to if you're trying to win a championship. You give yourself some wiggle room there down the stretch. Looking at our schedule, we had a lot of our tougher road games certainly near the end of the schedule, and we ended up dropping some of those. But because of the work we did early, because we took care of home court for the most part this season, we're going to be Big Ten champions outright. And with the win today, we're going to win the league by 3 games, which is just wild to think about, considering this team coming into the season, obviously not picked to win the league by anybody, and just an impressive accomplishment by this team. But we still have a lot to play for, a chance to get a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, and you want to be finishing the season on the right foot.
You mentioned taking care of business for the most part at home, which Purdue has done, but Purdue really took care of business on the road in the Big Ten this year. That was the difference.
7 Big Ten road wins, tied for the most, I believe, Big Ten road wins we've ever had in a season. So that's a testament to Purdue and what this team has done this year. They've been able to win games on neutral courts and on the road, and that's how you become Big Ten champions, right? You win games away from home, and Purdue's been doing that unbelievably well this year.
Chris, Bobby mentioned Purdue does still have a lot to play for because you're trying to be a #1 seed for the upcoming NCAA tournament. There are some bracketologists out there who, thanks to that late-night win last night by UCLA over Arizona, have moved UCLA to the #1 seed position and Purdue down to a #2.
Yeah, Joe Lunardi from ESPN was one of them, probably the most well-known bracketologist out there. He moved UCLA ahead of Purdue last night. Purdue just needs to take care of business. But if you look at the resumes, UCLA is 4-4 against probable NCAA tournament teams. Purdue is 9-4 against NCAA tournament teams. So, the resumes, to me, don't really match up. I'm a little biased, of course, obviously. We want that #1 seed. But at the end of the day, 1, 2, you're still going to play really good teams. And if Purdue does drop to a 2 somehow, you may get shipped to Louisville for the Sweet 16 round and beyond. So, it's not all doom and gloom with it. But, getting that 1 seed is just a feather in your cap for a great season that you've had. It'd be the first one since 1996. So, obviously, Purdue wants to get that 1 seed. And it starts today with a win over Illinois and then a good performance next week in the Big Ten tournament.
Speaking of feathers and caps, I'm hoping Zach Edey has a very large cap because he's about to have a whole lot of feathers, I think, stuck in him. It started earlier this week when the national awards started to trickle in, and Zach is basically dominating all of them.
Yeah, he won a couple offbeat Player of the Year awards. College Game Day from ESPN named him their Player of the Year. John Rothstein of College Hoops Today was his Player of the Year. The real big ones start to come out next week. The Sporting News is one of the main ones. It's considered for consensus All-American, so that comes out on Tuesday, I believe. Zach's been so dominant this year. They've taken the betting line actually off the board in Vegas because he was like a 1 to 100 odds, which there's no one that's going to bet that. So it's basically a foregone conclusion, we think. But just an unbelievable season by Zach. Hopefully he can keep it going and really take it up the next notch in the next few weeks.
Zach's had an incredible season. There's no getting around it. Some other guys have played really well too. Maybe not as much hype surrounding them because when you play with Zach Edey, it's tough to get the hype. But Fletcher Lawyer is slowly moving up the all-time scoring list for freshmen in a season at Purdue.
Yeah, he scored over 350 points. I think he needs about 5 or 6 to move into the top 5 or 6 all-time among freshman scorers. He's had a great year. I know he's had a little bit of a rough patch shooting the last 2 games. He played really well against Wisconsin, shot it well. So hopefully that gets him back going. Braden Smith's another one, had an unbelievable year. They'll probably both be on the all-freshman team, I would think. And Braden's closing in on 300 points, which would make them about the 3rd or 4th set of freshman pair to score 300 points in a season. You think about where they've been, unrecruited guys, really, under-recruited, and just the impact they've had on this year's team. Hopefully, again, we get a little bit of a break after today. We get a little bit of a break after the Big Ten tournament. Hopefully they can recover their minds, their bodies, and take us to the next level.
So what Chris is talking about, if Fletcher scores 5 points today, he'll move into 6th place all-time freshman scoring in a season. He'll bypass Carson Edwards. For the moment, 5th in the league among freshmen in scoring is Fletcher Lawyer. 7th in the league in scoring among freshmen is Braden Smith. And Braden leads the league among freshmen in assists per game. So they've both had great freshman years. We know that. What about Bobby Riddell, the change in the starting lineup at Wisconsin Thursday night? Brandon Newman, the redshirt junior, gets to start ahead of Ethan Morton. Matt Painter, when he joined us on a pregame show on the radio, said, I hope it jumpstarts both Brandon Newman and Ethan Morton. Did you see that on Thursday night?
I think so, certainly to some degree. I mean, it's ironic because they insert Brandon Newman and even Mason Gillis back into that starting lineup, just hoping to get a jump start from a shooting standpoint around Zach Edey. Both those guys more accomplished three-point shooters over the course of their career than Ethan Morton and Caleb Hurst. And sure enough, Ethan Morton off the bench is the guy who comes in, nails the 2 threes, and Mason and Brandon aren't able to knock down the shots they got. But I think over the course of the rest of the season, if they stick with that lineup, I do think Brandon and Mason are going to be able to come through and make some shots for us. I do like that Brandon, even with his poor three-point shooting, was able to impact the game in other areas. We got a couple pick sixes on defense leading to transition layups. That's just something our team has not been able to get too often this season as far as those breakaway points. He loves stealing points in a game like that on the road. So Brandon has really done a nice job rebounding, playing defense as of late. So hopefully now, after he gets 1 game under his belt starting, maybe get some of those jitters out of the way, and hopefully the jumper will fall here today.
This will be the 57th straight sellout at Mackey Arena. We'll end the season the way we started, with a sold-out arena. But it will not be easy today against Illinois. The Illini are a very different-looking team than they were last year. As a matter of fact, their top 3 scorers this season all transferred in from somewhere else last year. The one thing Illinois has going for it is, man, they can score the ball and they can rebound the ball. And that is where Purdue is going to have to make sure they are on their A game. Rebounding, which Purdue is the leading rebounding team in the country. And can you come up with enough defense to keep Illinois from scoring at a high level?
Yeah, this Illinois team, there's something else as far as the talent level. I mean, that's undeniable. They got a lot of talented dudes out there. They're kind of a frenetic team. They play at their own pace. Some shots they take are not maybe great shots, or the shots Coach Underwood would like, but they do have guys that are capable of making difficult shots. And so on any given day, if you catch them at the wrong time and they're hot from 3, they're going to be a difficult team to handle. They're a really interesting team where they shoot 2-point field goals at an extremely high percentage, yet they refuse to take 2-point field goals. They love to die with that 3-point shot, and from a 3-point percentage standpoint, they're not one of the best teams in the league. But they do have guys who are capable of getting hot, just like Purdue's team, right? We've been a very streaky team. We can get hot from time to time from 3, but defensively certainly got to get back in transition and not allow Illinois to get easy.
I'll add on that, Purdue's defensive transition has to be great tonight because Illinois will get out and run. They force a lot of turnovers. They force about 13 a game, so Purdue's got to take care of the ball, avoid the pick sixes. one other thing, Illinois is really long.
Yeah.
I mean, they start 5 guys that are 6'6" or taller, so it's going to be a challenge for Fletcher and Braden. Like, you're like, who are they going to guard? Because they're going to give up 5, 6, 7 inches on each guy they guard. So it's going to be interesting to see how that matches up.
They will be down a man today. Jaden Epps, one of the really good freshmen, plays off the bench as a point guard. He will not play today because of injury, so the Illini will be down a guy there from that perspective. Okay, Bob Riddell, we'll close it out here. We've turned the calendar to the month of March. After today, it's win and keep on going. Lose, it's been a great season. We'll see you back here next November. With that in mind, Purdue, now into the month of March, has to be better at what if they want to make a really deep run here in this month?
Well, it feels like the two keys for this team all year from a win-loss standpoint are the turnovers and the three-point shooting. It's that way probably for a lot of teams, of course, but Purdue has been so dominant from a free throw margin standpoint and from a rebounding standpoint, and then obviously having the National Player of the Year likely in Zach Edey from the 2-year scoring standpoint. It really has come down to the turnovers and the three-point shooting that has doomed Purdue and Purdue's 5 losses. So if Purdue is able to get even just average play in those areas, you're going to like Purdue's chances. And of course, if they get above average play in those areas, we're winning some ball games.
And isn't it crazy? We're sitting here being critical of Purdue at 25-5, ranked number 5 in the country, spent 7 weeks at number 1, outright Big Ten champions, yet we're nitpicking. That's probably not all bad, actually.
Yeah, if you're nitpicking areas and trying to find deficiencies, that's a good thing, right? That means you don't have a lot of them, and that means you have a team capable of going deep in March. This team is fully capable. Just like any team, the matchups are going to be important, but the better seed you get, the better chance you get a more favorable matchup. And then when the ball's tipped, you just got to hope your boys bring it.
We know this. Purdue's going to play Friday at noon of the Big Ten tournament as the number 1 seed. Don't know who they're going to play yet because Purdue will play the winner of the 8-9 game, which will be the day before. All right, before we close it out, Chris, special day in Mackey. It is senior day. 2 seniors for the Boilermakers about to be honored after the game today, right?
Yep. We want y'all to stick around, obviously, if you're in attendance, to recognize Matt Frost and David Jenkins Jr. Matt Frost, the walk-on, got a scholarship this last semester. Unfortunately, he tore his ACL before the season started this year, so he hasn't been able to play, but I don't know if anyone's, you'd spend time around Matt. Just an awesome personality, awesome guy to spend time with. Great teammate, really supports his guys. And David Jenkins Jr., only been here for a year, but I think all 3 of us can say just one of the best guys I've ever met. I told him the other day he's one of my favorite players that I've worked with in the last 10 years. Just always happy, always smiling, playing around, joking around. So just a great locker room guy, really good player too. Scored almost 2,000 points in his career, which is a lot of points. So really happy for these guys with the year that they've had, and hopefully, we can continue to play well for them.
I was joking with David earlier this morning at breakfast. I said, man, you're running out of fingers for championship rings. He won multiple rings at South Dakota State. Now, of course, has a Big Ten championship ring with Purdue. Maybe we can get him a few more rings before this season is over. Today, we will tip it up at 12:37. We hope you'll join myself, Bobby Riddell, on the radio network, or if you're going to be live with us here in Mackey Arena, please stick around, as Chris talked about, for the post-game festivities for Senior Day here at Mackey. It's Purdue and Illinois, regular season finale in West Lafayette. Been a wonderful season. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have, and we hope it keeps going for at least a few more weeks. For Chris, for Bobby, I'm Rob Blackman. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Boiler up, hammer down, and hail Purdue.